about to leave, already packing. Come with me, I'm not really asking. We'll get away to a place where we don't know. About to see.
History is full of examples of those whose thinking shaped the future. Unyielding as they were unconventional, these visionaries helped shape a world not yet born. And these free thinkers were not part of the collective thought of mediocrity, but were men and women who flew in the face of tradition and, in doing so, paved the way for change, for progress, and for liberty. Men and women who fervently believed in a good and righteous cause, never yielding to fold into the middle, rose against insurmountable odds to speak their passion and stir a society of conscience. But what if you just want sushi and everyone else wants Italian food? No problem. You can get your way. When you're outnumbered and outvoted, this tactic will sway the majority to your way of thinking. Whether you want your ideas implemented at the office or you want to see the movie no one else wants to, you'll find this method very useful. And whether you've got one ally, 10, or none, these rules of human nature are strategized to help you influence forces greater than your own. Techniques in chapters 14 and 16 to get anyone to take your advice and changing a person's mind certainly can be used to round out your overall strategy. There are 6 main elements that determine how effective you will be in swaying the majority to your way of thinking. They are outlined and explained as follows. 1. Consistency. First, you and/or members of your group must be consistent in the opposition to majority opinions. Studies show that if you waffle or show signs of giving in to the majority view, your impact is reduced. In other words, a statement such as, "Based upon all of the information, we stand 100% behind our position," is in accordance with this law. The statement, I don't know. No, it's just better this way. Yeah, is not suggested. 2. Flexibility. Studies show that the members must avoid appearing rigid and dogmatic. A minority that holds the same position regardless of new information and a changed situation is not as effective as one that demonstrates some flexibility. This does not contradict the previous law. Within a single position, you should remain unified and unyielding, but when presented with new evidence or a unique situation, you should take the time, or at least appear to do so, to consider this and weigh it without casual disregard. A statement consistent with this rule would be, "Well, that's an interesting thought that has not yet been considered. Why don't we take a short time to determine its merit?" An ineffective statement would be something such as, "No, no, no, I don't care. That's where we stand and that's that." 3. Divide and conquer. Many studies conclusively prove that when we have an ally, we are much more likely to stick to our guns. That means that if Jim knows that Bob is against your idea too, he'll be much harder to sway. Yet, if Jim thinks he's alone in his thinking, then not only is he more likely to change his view, but he will agree to things more easily if he thinks that the whole group is for that way too. Don't let them gain confidence in their numbers. Speak and sway individually whenever possible. 4. Likability. As a function of discord, when you disagree with the majority, you are often perceived as less friendly and maybe disliked. Being liked is more times than not an essential component of influencing people. So the secret is to point out how your view is in the best interests of others, not just yourself. Applying the tactics in Chapter 1, Get Anyone to Like You Every Time, will also stem the tide of losing popularity. 5. New angles. Whenever you want someone to reevaluate his thinking, remember to introduce new information into the equation. In this way, he's making a new decision based on additional information. This is easier for him to do than for him to change his mind. A good way to use this phrase is, "I understand why you thought this way, but we just found out that new information. In light of this new information, maybe we could approach this in another way." 6. Outside support. Now, what do you do if nobody's budging? When you've got nothing, Enact the law of social proof by finding other people outside your group who share your view. This will make your group more inclined to reevaluate their thinking. You're having trouble finding anyone to support you? No problem. Just find an expert or others to agree with you that don't have a personal stake in the situation. When college students received a compelling message supporting a departmental exam before graduation, they found strong arguments more convincing than weak arguments. No surprise here. But when the same message would have no effect on the students, advocating that the exam policy begin in 10 years, the quality of the argument made little difference. The expertise and credibility of the source, however, did matter. Petty, Cacioppo, and Goldman, 1981. So when you don't have a winning argument, try to get support from those who are not directly affected, as these people are prone to pay less attention to the quality of your points. Strategy review. You and/or members of your group must be consistent in the opposition to majority opinions. Do not show signs of waffling. Avoid appearing rigid and dogmatic. In light of new information, a minority that holds to the same position regardless of the situation is not as effective as one that demonstrates a degree of flexibility. Divide and conquer. Many studies conclusively prove that when we have an ally, we are much more likely to stick to our guns. When you disagree with the majority, you are disliked, hence making it difficult to sway them. Applying the tactics in Chapter 1, Get Anyone to Like You Every Time, will give you the edge. Don't ask someone to change his mind without introducing additional information. When you've got nothing, enact the law of social proof by finding other people outside your group who share your view. Listen to Chapter 18, The Greatest Psychological Secrets of Leadership, to make your argument as powerful and persuasive as possible.